Hi, I'm Joe Pilla, your pop culture monger, and I'm here with my buddy,
Rich Sands.
and we're going to talk about late night for a minute. So, I was really surprised to learn that every morning you're watching the recaps of Seth Meyers on YouTube, and of all the people to watch, he wasn't the one I thought you would turn to.
Well, I can't stay up that late, and so every morning I watch they put on the clips, they segment the show out,
Right.
and I watch A Closer Look, which is the political segment he does every day where he breaks down the news.
Right.
It's very much of the way The Daily Show used to break down politics, and I don't really watch it. But it's a combination of humor, but he uses real clips and real news
Right.
about what usually Trump, but anything in politics, has happened in the last 24 hours.
See, and I think that that's a really good segment for him because it plays off of his weekend update persona, which got him the show in the first place. But this week, he had an exceptional story about his wife.
Right, and it wasn't A Closer Look. It was about his own personal life.
Well, depending on where you were in the lobby at the time.
Exactly. His wife went into labor with their second child, and they didn't even get out the door of their apartment to get into their Uber when she decided, no, this is happening now. And she basically gave birth in the lobby of their building in Manhattan.
Their new building, by the way.
Yes.
They only lived there like 2 months.
Right, exactly. And the doorman helped out, the fire department was there, and he told this really incredible 10-minute story about how it all happened, and it was really heartfelt and interesting. And, to get away with such a personal story, you really have to have a connection with your viewers. And he does, and I thought it was really sweet.
I looked at that and I said, doesn't NBC have paternity leave? He had a baby like 24 hours later, and he's still on this show. Hopefully he's taken off next week.
The timing didn't work out. I think he was just on a break the week before. They were on some sort of an Easter holiday, and I think now that we're getting close to sweeps, he may not get time off until the summer.
Well, I thought it was really funny because the only reason I knew was because Tiffany Haddish was on. Because the other segment,
always comes back to Tiffany Haddish with this one.
She's my girl. But what I saw that was really funny was they have a segment where they do it behind the desk, and he's not always, too over the top or too racy, but he does it from time to time. So he's at the desk, and these two women writers come out. One is an African American, and one is a lesbian, and they basically have this skit where he'll do the setup, and he can't finish it because it's too potentially offensive. And they did one where they had a joke neither one of the women would say, so Tiffany came out and she finished it. So that was actually a great use of her. And then he interviewed her, and I thought it was really good. It wasn't as good as Jimmy Kimmel and the Groupon story, but I don't think anything ever will be.
So who do you watch? What's your go-to late night show?
I kind of look on my DVR on a Sunday or a Monday, and I look to see who's on each of the shows for a couple of days, and then I decide when I want to record. But a lot of times what I'll do is I'll see it in the morning, and I'll see it on Facebook, and then I'll just comment on it or watch it, or I'll share it on the Pop Culture Monger Facebook group. But I'm starting to really like Jimmy Kimmel because I feel like what he's doing is he's again personal. He has a whole situation with his son was born with a heart deficiency and all the operations, and talks about healthcare and like I have enough money to pay doctors cash. Basically, I don't have to worry about insurance, but anyone else would be in such hardship. So I like him. I think he's really bringing a personal agenda that other people have, and he's using his voice, and I think it's good. He's gotten into a fight with Sean Hannity, which was kind of funny, but who doesn't? And I find I like him. I don't expect to like him. On the other one, I only like because of an incident we saw. Well, we went to BAM last year when NPR had an event, and Stephen Colbert.
How pretentious is this one? BAM and NPR name dropping on them.
It's free. It was free. The tickets were free. But what happened was they do this show, Wait, Don't Tell Me, in NPR. It's like a quiz show. And they have one guest every time, and there was a blizzard. It was supposed to be Lena Dunham. And instead, it was Stephen Colbert. He was like a last-minute...
That's an upgrade.
Well, but he was a substitute. But he said he would do it with no preparation whatsoever. And he was on for 45 minutes for a 7-minute segment on the radio. But what was really great was he wouldn't allow them to change the questions. So he was asked all the same questions they prepared for Lena Dunham, and they're in Brooklyn, and it was priceless. So that made me see him as more than just a talking head on Comedy Central. I don't know, I just never got into him on Comedy Central.
Right.
But now I find he's pretty good. He had Tiffany on, and she was flirting with him. That was good. And he also had Adam Rippon and Reese Witherspoon on together.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Which I was like, why isn't that on NBC, first of all? So that was a weird get.
Why would it be on NBC?
Because NBC had the Olympics. So why would Adam Rippon be on CBS? And what was he promoting? I don't even know.
He was promoting himself. He was the breakout star.
He's getting really good at that.
He was the breakout star of the 2018 Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
So what about James Corden? Because I feel like he had all this buzz like 2 years ago and last year with the Carpool Karaoke, which I guess is now a spin-off on iTunes. But
yeah.
I feel like people aren't really talking about him that much.
Yeah, I don't think he has as much of a momentum as he had in the past, especially because he seems to be a little behind, I would say. He hasn't gotten into the political fray that much, which maybe that's just taking over the monologue. I did see he did a whole segment where it was almost like his own personal American Idol of The Voice, where he was having auditions for who's going to be the next James Corden or the young James Corden. I don't even know what the whole story was, but I would see these clips and it was really funny. They had a young, like 12-year-old chubby boy that looked like it could be him. And I don't know if you know this, but he was in History Boys on Broadway. I saw him in that. Did you see him in that?
I think so.
If you saw it, he was in it the whole time.
I don't remember.
I saw it because Dominic something was a really handsome guy that's in Mamma Mia. He plays the boy that Amanda Seyfried marries.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah, and he was in. He had a show on AMC Fox or one of those one of those shows where he was playing twins. And it was something in... Am I making this up? This is a real story. Am I confusing it with Tyrant?
Or a fever dream you had once?
I think we have to end this because now I have to really worry about, can I edit anything? Because I read it and I looked at it, but it didn't work when I tried it. So, all right, we'll talk about some more nonsense on the next video. Thanks for watching.